Donald Trump just caused an earthquake on the island of Cuba, and not in the way people think. Miguel Díaz-Canel has just been notified by the most powerful man on this planet, the man who leads the most powerful, technologically advanced army, and who now has his eyes on an unsettled score. We haven't been like this since the missile war, since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Family, the time has come after Venezuela, after Hurricane Trujillo passed through Caracas. Now it's heading north towards Cuba. Your likes and comments, this is Military Strategies. Let's begin. Good afternoon, family. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now. A bombshell that was already expected, a bombshell we were already watching for, and now we can confirm it. The Southern Spear Fleet is no longer in the south and is heading north. After having destroyed the Venezuelan organizational chart, if Maduro is taken and making all of Chavismo look foolish. Now, family, we're leaving. Now, family, we're heading north to the island of Cuba. A complete earthquake. Donald Trump. What he just told Díaz-Canel is a sentence without a prior trial, leaving no room for doubt. Díaz-Canel has responded to him. And I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know what's going to happen. Donald Trump. For many years, Cuba depended on large amounts of oil and money from Venezuela in exchange for Cuba. In exchange, Cuba provided security services to the last two Venezuelan dictators. But that's over. Most of those Cubans died in the United States attack last week. And in Venezuela, you no longer need protection from the thugs and extortionists who held you hostage for so many years. Now, Venezuela has the support of the United States of America, by far the most powerful military power in the world, to protect her. And that's what we'll do. There will be no more oil or money for Cuba. But it's over. Game over. I strongly recommend, says Donald Trump, that we reach an agreement before it's too late. Goodbye. Mother of God. And now what? What are we going to see now? Well, let's get started, family. Good afternoon. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now. Unbelievable situation in Cuba now. I've already lost my voice. I've already lost everything. Donald Trump doesn't give us a break. Donald Trump is changing the world. It's the biggest change in 2 centuries. Nothing like this has been seen in 200 years. This week, Maria Corina at the White House, Diosdado missing, and now Díaz-Canel with a target on his head. Goodbye.
What's happening?
What madness, family. Absolute madness. The situation in Cuba, well, this is amazing. It's absolutely amazing because there's already an international response. Venezuela is 51, Cuba is 52, Mexico is 53, Nicaragua is 54. Well, Nicaragua's. Ortega has begun releasing people. Ortega has already started to release people before being asked. Ortega has already started to let people go. What does Díaz-Canel say? In October 2024, he discussed the energy situation. Cuba is a disaster, running out of oil and everything else.
The readiness and all the capacity and the full deployment and scope of the systems we have, organized by the defense councils or by the party organizations, the government, the administrations, to respond to the population to any concern as long as it is done in a civilized, organized, and disciplined manner. But we are not going to accept or allow anyone to act by provoking acts of vandalism, much less disturbing the public peace of our people.
Thanks to a Díaz-Canel who is seeing what has happened in Venezuela, who is seeing what is happening in Iran. A Díaz-Canel who talked about repression in 2024 and now sees how his partner Nicolas Maduro has been taken away. That oil tankers no longer arrive in Cuba, that Claudia is the only thing keeping him alive. And now Claudia is also going to stop sending him oil. Díaz-Canel's situation isn't just bad, it's terrifying because on top of that, Cuba is closer to the United States than Venezuela. You don't need that much military projection to bring down a regime whose military leadership is falling apart. I've been studying it in the last few hours. It hasn't been renewed in years. The ones currently running the country are real dinosaurs from Fidel Castro's era. Historically, there's no doubt it all started a long time ago. Archive footage. Coup d'etat, dictatorship. People used to celebrate it. Now there's nothing left to celebrate having it. Almost nothing is left of Cuba. The revolution came and ended it. Be careful because there are images we've already seen and that are familiar to us. Pay attention to all the information we're bringing this afternoon because you're going to laugh.
Thank you. I am Fidel. I am already Fidel. I am already Fidel.
I am Fidel.
My flag always arrives. One day our dead, raising their arms, will still tend to them until victory.
Long live the legacy of Fidel and Chavez. Long live President Nicolas Maduro. Down with imperialism.
We've already seen this. We already know this episode. This is a copy of a copy. We already know this story. I already know how it's going to end. I already know how I'm going to end up.
Today, democracy has been discussed here, and implicitly your personal value has been mentioned. I would like to ask you,
if you are so sure of having popular support, why don't you hold competitive elections? Isn't this really a sign that you are afraid of losing the elections? An expression, and excuse me for saying this, an expression of political cowardice.
if you believe you love us.
Let them teach us the method of
The United States.
Not necessarily.
Of course, without a president, we don't want that method.
We don't want the United States' method. We want to be dictators and keep the people in misery. That's what Fidel or Castro used to say.
No,
Notice who brings him water and who brings him the paper.
we have a method of selection.
Well, look who brings the little letter to Fidel Castro.
It's the
reheated leftovers of the leftovers of the leftovers.
10 times more democratic and 10 times better.
Well, Díaz-Canel, I have the honor to inform you that you're going to see a sticker soon in military strategies. Get ready, my friend, because what's coming your way is just the beginning, man. From a technological point of view, Cuba is a smaller island. Now, when we take out the map and start looking at things, it's going to cost us a quarter of what it has cost us.
Venezuela is more participative. Get informed, please.
What kind of election is that? An opponent.
The people nominate, the neighbors nominate, and the party can't propose a single candidate.
If you're there, how will they propose a candidate? If that's a dictatorship, that's a real crazy dictatorship. What they've been putting in our heads for years. Unbelievable. Cuba, another case similar to Venezuela, millions of Cubans around the world who have had to go into exile. Millions have disappeared. Another narco dictatorship. They live off aid from Russia and China for espionage tasks. They live off drug trafficking and human trafficking. And this is coming to an end. It's game over. It's game over.
The imperialist desire is Venezuelan oil. It's the land and the natural resources of Venezuela. No, imperialist gentlemen.
We've seen this before, haven't we?
This is our backyard.
They used to say that in Venezuela, but now they're selling all their oil. Canel.
And neither territory nor whore. We neither accept nor recognize the Monroe Doctrine, nor outdated kings or emperors.
Has anyone asked you to accept it? Canel still doesn't get it. I think there are people here who still don't realize that Donald Trump isn't asking. Donald Trump is ordering. I want Venezuela's oil. Period. I'm not asking you. He is. I'm not asking you. Diosdado, who, by the way, is currently missing. It seems that the other day the hammer didn't meet the expected ratings in the regime. It was a pretty light hammer, and it didn't reach the expected audience levels. It seems that Diosdado is no longer useful to the regime. By the way, about political prisoners, Donald Trump has issued another challenge, and today at the helicoid, excuse me for a second, well, yesterday we didn't have time to go live with this topic, excuse me. Yesterday I was super busy with different matters. I'm going to show you a video of something that happened at the helicoid and that I find striking. They're taking away the political prisoners, and we don't know if it's Diosdado or who it is, because it seems that Diosdado gave the order that if he is kidnapped or eliminated, political prisoners should be executed. But also, yesterday, unfortunately, another political prisoner who was under the dictatorship of Delcy, Edison Jose Torres Fernandez, died. He passed away yesterday, which means we are sorry for his loss and send condolences to his family. Let's show a photo of this hero, also Venezuelan, who hasn't made it. Unfortunately, this is what these people bring: torture. What many political prisoners are already discussing after arriving in Spain. It's terrible, horrible. It's something completely out of any framework. I can't believe this is happening at the helicoid. What's going on? The macro.
Sacaban a personal del helicoide. Un convoy lleno hasta arriba.
Those from
Presos políticos.
corrupt 7 physical conditions. I'm already Fidel? And I don't dare to say it. But we might find an unpleasant surprise at the end of this story. I'm already Fidel. It's a serious matter. It's something that can't be taken lightly. The regime has more than 1,100 people kidnapped. And obviously we need to know where everyone is. Some have been located, others haven't. I'm starting to fear the worst, and I think they're buying time. But we'll see day by day, we'll see what happens with this issue.
Terrible.
Terrible, terrible. What did Donald Trump say? Also, the boss, the chief president of the United States, spoke about Cuba. Marco Rubio said it first. Some people are nominating him as president of Cuba.
Estado
The 52nd state.
52.
The fundamental problem in Cuba is that it's run by incompetent people who don't know what an economy looks like, much less a functioning one. They've made a choice, and that is they would rather have political control over their people than have an economy that functions.
They preferred control over the people rather than having a decent economy.
I am Fidel.
For 60 years, we looked a lot at Venezuela, but we don't realize Cuba, 60 years.
Soviet Union and more recently Venezuela, but that's now gone. Following the fundamental.
Notice how Donald Trump nods to everything that Marco Rubio says.
Cuba is an interesting case. Cuba is Cuba.
It's an interesting case.
You know, not doing very well right now.
They're not doing well now.
That system hasn't worked well for Cuba or its people.
The system isn't working well for Cubans.
Have suffered for many, many years.
They have suffered for many years.
Do you think Cuba is going to be something we'll end up talking about?
He says Cuba. It's something we're going to end up dealing with, not just talking about, but actually getting them out.
Cuba is a failing nation, very bad.
It's a failed nation right now, very bad.
Badly failing nation. Marcos.
Rubio nods his head, yes.
I'm Fidel. Of Cuba and living in this country. Do you want Díaz-Canel?
Incredible. It's incredible. Meanwhile, the Cubans, the ones from the regime, I mean those who had their special guard, were protecting someone named Nicolas Maduro.
Claro.
Of course, the United States has seen the following equation. Let's see if you all agree with me in the chat, family. They said, let's see if we can eliminate the best of the Cuban guard that was protecting Maduro in 3 minutes. What would it cost us to invade or control Cuba? 0404, by the way. I'm seeing posts about audios. Excuse me for a second. Let's play this video that I love about supposed audios. Let's play some suspenseful music. We're watching audios of supposed guards from Fuerte Tiuna talking about ultrasonic weapons that make people faint, vomit, playing audios here and there, unbelievable weapons. Do you want my analysis? Do you want my answer? The only unlikely weapon that was used on January 3, 2026 in Caracas is called United States Army. A beast. Insatiable, tireless, balanced, precise, deadly. That's the secret weapon. no ultrasonic bombs or stories. It's years of preparation, months, 24 hours, ready for combat. Unique physical endurance abilities on land, at sea, and in the air. The most advanced force on this planet. That's the secret weapon.
Creer.
Believing and making it happen is what America does. That's right, family. Honestly, I've been listening to these recordings and they seem inconsistent to me. They seem pretty unbelievable. That clear? What happens here is that this operation is carried out in the middle of the night with special forces operators. With incredible combat capabilities, who are able to work in enclosed environments, with advanced weapon systems, advanced communications and vision systems. And the Cubans who were there didn't have these. The Cubans who were there, some of them were even wearing tracksuits. There were no night vision goggles, no thermal cameras, no motion detectors, no heartbeat detectors. There was no little device you could use to detect things. How many people are inside a room? Right? There were a number of things and technology that obviously not many countries in the world have, and obviously the one who has it is called the United States. Top planes, drones, and espionage systems? United States. That's the secret weapon, but now starting to say this. Ultrasound weapons were used, which made people go crazy and fall to the ground, or their heads exploded like watermelons. Let's stop the stories and check if we're realistic. Delta Team 1 reached Nicolas Maduro's bunker and completely destroyed it. There are no more air defense systems. They didn't work. Now I'm loyal. The radars were eliminated, the volcano's communications tower destroyed, and the bug systems, which were useless. In the Caracas Valley, prey to the drones. They hadn't even moved them, and some were kept in garages. What do you expect? What more do you want? That's what happens. That's what happens when they fade you to black. That's what happened. Don't look for more stories. Don't overthink it, because there aren't any. It's the modern world. It's modern warfare. The best weapons, the best men, the best country in the world. Behind that army, it's as simple as that. All right, family. Let's go with this now. Let's go with this now. Pay attention to what Díaz-Canel says. Well, what are they doing? What are they doing? We've already seen this, right? It's just a rehash.
The Chief of Staff of the Eastern Army checked each of the actions of the elements that make up the territorial defense system. During the practical session, in Defense Zone 3105-16 of the main municipality, various actions were carried out with the participation of its members. Current stage with the increasing aggressiveness of the United States.
Hey, I like that about Díaz-Cantados. Look, from now on, Díaz-Canel will be called Díaz-Cantados. I like this. I'm reading the chat and comments now. Thank you, family, for the super chat and subscribing. Let's check your messages. This is incredible. Now they're mobilizing the poor people of Cuba, just like they did with those from Venezuela.
Every Saturday will become a space for
From Temu drones.
Military, political, and ideological operation of the Cubans.
Once again, the same thing for the regime's riffraff, giving them rifles.
Similarly, a class was given
The mother who gave birth to them.
methodological guidance for exercises in the coming months.
While they were assembling the assault rifle, the Deltas had already fired 300 rounds at the target. With a bell. With this, they're going to alert that the Deltas are coming. If you hear the sound of a bell in Cuba, it means the cavalry is coming.
The main idea here is how to confront the enemy.
With a wired telephone, well, this works better because through the air. But what kind of joke is this? But what are we seeing right now here? Already the controls from Fidel's era. The soldiers who don't even know how to remove a magazine from the rifle. The rifles are full of woodworms. They must have put a bit of varnish on the grip and the stock. I'm already Fidel, my goodness. Look at the condition of the spring. The truth is, you could take those rifles hunting. Ducks. When you see a flock of ducks, you aim, but one will fall because the bullet won't hit where you intend. It's terrible. Looking at the photos, the situation with the Cubans is just ridiculous. It's like Charo and her rifle now. Please look at this. Let's zoom in on the photo. Let's figure out where these people come from. Where do they get these people from? Man, the lady must have eyesight from INCE to spot that telescopic sight on the front of the rifle. I don't get it. The rear sight they've put right under the handguard. With the leather jacket, it looks like she's doing a perfume commercial. I'm looking for Jax. I'm already loyal. Where do they get these people from? Where do you get them from? Canel, his days are numbered. I'm already loyal. Are these guys going to the deltas? Then people get surprised and go out here to make shows and say no. Is it that the Americans have used secret weapons with subsonic blows and things like that? But what subsonic blow? Yes. But what subsonic blow, my God? There you have the subsonic blow. And he feels so satisfied. But wait, the camouflage of the Cubans is made of pieces of garbage bags. Again, with the Isla, well, these are, I think they're Estrella. These are older than the Isla. But where did you find these? But what is this? Is this some kind of joke? Díaz-Contados, please, don't bring this out, because you're just going to make it much easier. Okay, look, I'm going to tell you something. The Venezuelans at least had Temu screens. But here, the octogenarian, I'm already Fidel. This gentleman must be over 80 and octogenarian. I don't know what he's playing at. I mean, toy soldiers, or telling the story of Che Guevara's battle in the valley or at the Bay of Pigs. I don't know. You tell me, what kind of military presence does he have? The uniform looks way too big on him from every angle. Of course, these people go to iExpress and buy all the uniforms in unisex extra large size and give them to everyone. Of course, if it's too big for you, you can use it as a tent. You can sleep with it and cover yourself up. Or you can make trash bag camouflage. Hey, what's with the glasses? What are they for? I don't get it. Look, sometimes it's hard for me to understand. But I try, okay? I make the effort. Sometimes this is hard. However, there are people who aren't having a good time. I'm already made for this. Yes, for this. Cubans are geniuses. Repression and torture, right?
With a dog, just to go after her here.
Beatings.
Beatings.
Well,
There's one thing you have to understand. Forgive me, Cubans, I'm being too satirical. I'm really sorry that you're like this. In the shit, in the mess, as they say out there, I really mean it. Is there an advantage that the United States will have in the operation against Díaz-Canel? And besides, that's a huge advantage. There's no electricity. Cuba? That is this thing we saw in Venezuela, of a face almost lit up. There's no need to break the generator since there's no power anyway. You already have the element of surprise. There's no power. People won't even go out onto their balconies. They're already used to seeing guys making noise in the streets. Cuba is easy, huh? Easier than we think. The thing is, with the United States, there's an issue with Russia that we have to look at, we have to consider it. But this is easy. What does Díaz-Canel say? Let's see, the next resident of the Southern District of New York Jail. For me, what do you want me to say? It's history, you know?
Okay, gentlemen, explosions, you can hear helicopters, it's 1:58 in the morning.
Picture this in Havana, come on.
They're attacking Fort Piola.
Just think about it. The image is overwhelming, huh? Come on. 4 months pulling out machetes, arrows, bows, blowguns, rifles. Setting off fireworks from the rooftops of the tall buildings in Caracas. They didn't take down a single lousy helicopter. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You don't even see people shooting from the streets. Nothing. People hiding like rats, lifting the manholes, lifting the sewers of Caracas and getting inside. The colectivos looked like turtles. Ninja.
Yeah.
Watch how he enters at the end. The helicopter on the third comes in through there. Boom to Maduro's bunker. Of course, what happens here is like the story of the boy who cried wolf. He keeps warning the wolf is coming, but it never shows up. And people say the wolf doesn't come. But then one day the wolf actually comes and eats all the sheep. Well, in this case, all the Cubans. The Cubans who were with Maduro, those were well fed, they weren't hungry, and they had illnesses. Oh my God, what's coming for Cuba? Because the situation in Cuba is much simpler. It's an island. It's literally an island. It's an island you can surround. You can move a small fleet and block it just like that. Let's look at it on the map. Let's see what options there are. It's an elongated island. A structure. Easy. We can split the island into 3 sectors, including this one with Havana. Let's do things. Look, now that we're live, let's do something. Let's inaugurate the map of Cuba. Let's go, family. Let's go. We're starting the map of Cuba. And when we start a map, we already know how it ends. Well, we have this sector, Havana up to Matanzas. Now I'm Fidel. All right. Next sector. this area here, which is the central sector. And then we have the southern area. Well, let's call it east. Cuba doesn't have a southern area. It's oriented west to east. And here we have a key. We have Guantanamo. The United States of America has Guantanamo. Guantanamo is a naval base, also an air base where they can deploy. Well, they can have it there until they set up the second. They almost have it ready for all these people. All right, Guantanamo Bay. They have direct gates. They can make technical stops. They can carry out special operations. They can also bring helicopters. This one we see here, the old runway, can be rehabilitated to have another option. For example, Harrier jets, F-35B jets can land if this runway is renovated. Anti-drone and surveillance systems can also be installed. It's isolated from the rest, which is super important. It's isolated. There's very little population nearby. Near Guantanamo, Guantanamo has different security rings. It has different points so that people can't get close, so they can't launch a surprise attack on Guantanamo. It's very well defined. And this is the key. The United States has Guantanamo. From there, they can launch whatever they want. Combat drones, they can launch, they can deploy field artillery. You can do anything, but honestly, it's just not necessary. Looking at the format and model of Donald Trump's war, none of this is necessary. The only thing you need to do is use intelligence. For a couple of months now, they've already been there. I mean, the CIA has already been operating and has been doing so forever. To control where he is, his days are numbered. Going after him, that's it. There's nothing else. Look, pay attention, Díaz-Canel, unlike the Venezuelans. He has concentrated all the power on himself like a true Castro follower. And it's much easier, much easier. People are going to come out en masse, and it's going to be like Iran, but in a smaller, lighter version. Yes, Santiago de Cuba would need to be controlled. Obviously, you have to make sure that no ships come in here. This is easy so that oil tankers, bulk carriers, and others don't come in here. We're seeing it. The entrance to the refinery is complicated because the passage is narrow. This one we see here has to be done very slowly. Oil tankers can't quickly enter or leave Santiago de Cuba Bay. There are also other important places. Is there another place where they hide the oil tankers? Cienfuegos is more of the same. The mouth of Cienfuegos. Narrow, difficult passage. You have to maneuver very slowly and do it at times when the tide favors the movement of those ships. And sometimes one arrives that isn't going to make it. And in Cienfuegos, the usual. Petroleum workers? Now, they have the Ghost Fleet there, so the United States can't come after them. That area is also important, Cienfuegos, a very, very important area.
I am Fidel now.
Let's continue. Northern area, looking towards the United States, looking area of Havana. Logistical point. More of the same. An entrance through a channel that can be easily blocked. throughout the entire coastal area, and now we're going to see it on the Marine Radar map. In this whole area, which here is another one, the Bay of Matanzas is where they have the oil tankers. I'm Fidel now. Soon, people might sit on the Florida Keys to watch the flashes in Havana. One of these nights it could happen. Now, will the F-18S start flying around here? And besides, the aircraft carrier isn't needed anymore. It's not necessary because of the air base they take off from. They're here, they're in Guantanamo. It's not necessary. Really? That thing with Díaz-Canel is messed up, huh? Current situation with flights. They've already released a balloon of an aerostatic radar balloon in the Keys. We already have a radar going around over there. Look here, Colombia.
Oh.
Search pattern. BAT 91. Following the oil tankers in Fidel. Another one from Port of Spain.
Bro.
In the Guyana area. Another one.
Bro.
Does anyone think this is over? It's only just begun. Now I understand why we were seeing the stories we saw about preparing raids, amphibious operations, and things like that. It was clear. But anyway, what did Claudia Simbaugh say? Are you going to watch the morning briefing?
More oil is being sent than ever before. Historically, there isn't a specific shipment. For many years, oil has been sent to Cuba for different reasons. Some are contracts, others are humanitarian aid. Even during the time of Peña Nieto, for example, a debt that was owed to Cuba was forgiven. So, is it a historic shipment?
Yes, it's a shipment that won't happen again.
It has been given to Cuba and its people.
And now it won't be given anymore.
Claudia, and now, well, it's...
Well, now Donald Trump will screw us.
The shipment and the business are part of both the contract and the humanitarian aid, and we can give you the data later, since Pemex was involved.
No, the data won't be necessary. Claudia, oil tankers won't be arriving anymore. If you send an oil tanker to Cuba, well, they're going to mess it up for you. And I think Mexico doesn't want to get into trouble with the United States. Especially after the last little message he left, which was quite a good message. Donald Trump, we're going after the cartels. Let's go Mexicans. She said we're going to improve communication with Donald Trump. Well, as long as Claudia brings out machetes, just picture her with one. They're ending up alone, huh? They're ending up alone. Ortega has begun releasing prisoners. Petro is lowering his pants for Trump. Claudia, quiet. Are they alone in Cuba now? See what we discussed earlier. Here in the Cienfuegos area, these ships we see around here, oil tankers seek refuge. The United States, as long as it... A couple of Coast Guards in this area right here. It's over. There's nothing more to it. In this terminal, it's more of the same. There isn't a Coast Guard in Bahia de Moa, and that's it. The same in Matanzas. Here you see it. The one from Cienfuegos. Now I am Fidel.
Yeah.
No mystery, none at all. Here, the thing about Díaz-Canel is, how long will it take him to realize he has to surrender? Because the last thing Donald Trump tells him is to make a deal before it's too late and he has to come to the United States under arrest. Look here at the Republican Carlos Jimenez, who has said this: "Let's make America great again. Let's make Cuba great again." Someone said Marco Rubio will be the president of Cuba, and Donald Trump said, "That's fine with me." Well, with this, it's clear. With this, the topic is clear. With this, the story is clear about where it's going. And it's important to realize where the issue is, it's very clear where it is, and what's going to happen is systematic. They're all going to fall, every single one. 100.
Weddings, will there be another? Humanities would emerge.
And that the best way to win it is to be ready, prepared to face it, and for the powerful, arrogant, and overbearing enemy to know it. Whoever tries to take over Cuba will only gather the dust of its soil soaked in blood, unless they perish in the struggle.
And how are you going to do this? With Charo? How are you going to do it if you don't have an army? Orlando? Freedom for Cuba and political prisoners and the dictatorship. Castro-Canel, your time is running out. Maria Ronda, thank you for the super chat. Welcome, Maria. Will my Cuba ever be free? Gonzalo de la Torre, thank you so much. Miguel Turdolandia is in total panic. Orlando, Cuba's freedom, homeland life. Laika, Lexington, down with Díaz-Canel. Damn, freedom for Cuba, homeland and life flow. Fury Díaz-Canel is a puppet. Angelica Cabriones. Come on, are we going to wait for the fall of the Cuban dictator? All the democratic right wing of Mexico stands with the Cuban people. Thank you for your excellent strategic work. Greetings from Mexico. Thank you for your super chat, your collaboration with this content. Angelica, thank you so much. Welcome. By the way, family, if you haven't hit the bell yet, go ahead and hit the bell so that when we go live, you'll know when we're on. Jesus Fonten says Cuba was better before Castro. In Cuba, they shouted for Fidel. In Venezuela, for Chavez. Neither Canel nor Maduro inspired the masses. Nobody likes them, and even less respects them. Is that right, Frank? People don't have any other choice. Freedom for my country, 67 years under dictatorship. My God, Manuel. My God. Beth, thank you so much. 520 Ruti, thank you so much also for that super chat. Havana Medu, thanks and welcome Nati. What does he treat? This? There's no cure. This has no cure at all. There's no solution at all. Come on, let's check out more super chats. Lucia. Thank you so much, Roberto. In 2022, I completed my military service at the Santa Clara Anti-Aircraft Base in Cuba, near the city's airport. I can't believe what the Americans did in this attack. I'll never forget it. Greetings from Chile. I'm a Cuban living in the United States, and today America is happy, right? You call them Canales days, but they're numbered days. Well, Singao, yes, numbered days. I support the Cubans. Greetings from the Dominican Republic, Bichodan, Venezuela, Iran, Cuba, Nicaragua, North Korea. But North Korea has atomic weapons, so you'd need to reconsider that. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, thank God, says Spartan. Is this the generational change? Yummy forever Cuban. Thank you, Carlos. We're witnessing historic moments, the fall of regimes and the global impact of the Truen earthquake. Great strategies, Manuel. Long live my free Cuba. Thank you so much, Manuel Lili Estrategia. Thank you. God bless you too. At least 500 dead in Iran and more than 10,000 detained. We need to go in now. I've heard 1,000. At the very least, the numbers are even higher. Henry, long live free Cuba. I'm Cuban living in Cape Coral, Florida. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Henry. And soon we'll all see each other in Cuba. Jamel, thank you, lady. Long live free Cuba. I'm Cuban. Make Cuba great again. Let's make Cuba great again. Venezuela, Honduras, which is already on its way. El Salvador, which already is. If it can be done, if it exists, that model exists, the model's there and it's been created. It's been created. You have to believe in it. You have to push. That's what you have to do. Put pressure on it, and that's it. Blessings, strategies, and freedom for Cuba. With the dust soaked in blood, it refers to the blood of our own brothers, not outsiders, which is sad. It's like what they taught us since elementary school. Dying for the revolution is systematic. It all starts in schools. It's the same as Gaza. It's the same as in Iran. These dictatorships are the same. Javier Milei for all of South America. Trump's going to make something like a Europe and South America. Thank you very much for that super chat. Of course, what we're seeing here is that they want to create a generation that only knows this. Little flags of some chubby guys. Old dictators. Military region of Las Tunas. But there's nothing there. They have T-55 tanks. Even Russia doesn't want them. Tell me, what are they going to do there? They're not going to do anything. There's nothing to do. They're having a hard time. Well, family, let's take a look at the latest of the latest. This is just like Venezuela. Watch this video, Iran. Look right now, Iran. There are already groups in the streets. It's the same thing. They're the same. There's no difference. They're the same creatures. They're the... That's right. Family, I'm heading out with J.R. He has an interesting show on now. Let's see what they're discussing. Lots of guests and people. Iran situation update. For more details, tune in to the next military strategy show.
Lo mismo, a lo mejor me paso por allí. Así que todos al directo de JR entre comillas. Un saludo.